Morning, everyone. So in a bit, we're going to hear from our gospel where Jesus talks a lot about welcoming. And this goes right in with what we talked about this week with VBS. Because this week we talked about how Jesus is for everyone, and therefore we should do our part to welcome people into our church and in our faith and everything like that. So there are a couple different ways we learned about this because, for instance, with music with Janet, we learned about different hymns that help us invite others to come and sing with us, and that there are different parts of our service that are meant to encourage others to come and join in with us. For our craft this week, we made wreaths. Here are a couple examples of the wreaths we made this week. And we decided on wreaths because they are a symbol that we put on our doors to help people feel welcome to come into our homes or our rooms or whatever else that might be. So again, this is all to help us learn that Jesus is for everyone and we need to do our parts to welcome others as well. Another thing to think about is all the different ways we welcome people into our congregation. Right now, it's kind of tricky because we're trying to stay socially distant. Now, even though it's been a while, we can think of some of the things that we have done to help welcome people. So for instance, when we're all together in our building, we have people like we have the greeters who stand by the doors, who are normally some of the first people you'll see when you walk in. We also have our ushers. They're the ones that help hand out bulletins, and if people have questions about something going on in the service, they're sometimes the first people that you can ask. Then we also have our coffee hour, which is a great time where you can grab a drink and some snacks and just chat with all different people. We also have our visitors book and we have our friendship register, and those are available so that we can get into contact with people who may be visiting for the first time or interested in joining our congregation. That way we can follow up with them and chat for a bit. So there are all sorts of different ways we welcome people into our congregation and into our building. But even now that we're not in our building as much, we have still been able to welcome people with things like our live stream. Even today, you'll probably see that there are people from all over that are joining us, which is amazing. I've seen people from like Georgia and Alabama. I know my family from Iowa watches. I've seen people all the way from California before. I know there was even one Sunday where there was a group from Moldova that watched. In Moldova, if you're not familiar with it, it's a country all the way in Europe, so all the way across the ocean, and they were able to join us for worship. And I think that's pretty cool that we're able to help connect with all these different people. So even while we're socially distant, there are definitely ways we can be welcoming. I know I've gotten a few cards in the mail from my church friends, which has been really nice and sweet. I love being able to text with some of my friends while we share the peace. And there are all sorts of ways where we can help remind our friends that they belong, that they are part of this community, and that we are thinking about them and that they are in fact welcome. So while we listen to the gospel today, you can think about different ways you can be welcoming from home. Is there a friend you can call to check on? Is there a buddy you can write a note to? There are all sorts of different things you can do, because even while we're physically apart, that doesn't mean we're not still connected. So I challenge you all to think of different ways you can reach out and help everyone feel welcome.